This video is for AQA AS Business Studies Unit 6, which is Human Resource Management, and it's one of the theorists within that unit, and it's called Hackman and Oldham's Job Characteristics Model. And what it looks at is the role or the task itself and how that could be a big influence on the motivation of an employee. So what they look at is 5 key core dimensions, which is skill variety, task identity, task significance, autonomy and feedback. And they believe that if these core dimensions are met, then the psychological status of the employee will be much improved, and therefore there'll be a much better outcome. So if you think about skill variety to start off with, the skill variety relates to will the employee be doing the same task over and over again? Will there be a repetitive nature which becomes quite tedious? Because if so, it's much more likely that they'll be demotivated. But if they're given a variety of tasks, and that could relate to a job enlargement, job enrichment, then it helps to develop various different skills. And it also shows the employee that the employer is thinking about them, because they are thinking about helping them to develop in different areas, but also recognising that doing the same thing day in, day out can become boring, can become repetitive, tedious, and therefore the employee will not be happy with that. Task identity relates to does the employee exactly know what they are doing? Can they identify what task they are doing? I suppose that relates directly to communication and coordination. If the employee doesn't communicate what the task is and why it's important, so you can see that task significance and task identity are very, very similar and linked. But if they don't know what the task is, and they haven't been coordinated very well in terms of that task, but furthermore they don't actually understand the reason why they're carrying out the task, then they might not be truly motivated within that task. But if the employee can identify exactly what they're doing, and they know why they're doing it, because they know the importance of that task, then they're more likely to put more effort into that task and perform better at that task as well. Autonomy relates to the ownership over the task. So if they believe that they've got autonomy, they believe they are empowered, and they have the control of the task, and therefore they have the responsibility for the outcomes. If they're empowered, it's more likely that they'll put more effort, they'll be more motivated within the task, because again they'll be responsible for the outcomes, so they'll want to make sure the outcomes are successful. In terms of feedback, that relates to, does the employee actually know how they're getting on within that task? If they've got no knowledge of results, then they're going to, again, it's not really going to motivate them. If they know what they're doing, it has been acknowledged, and they've got maybe praise for it, then it's going to, again, show them that they're doing very well, and it'll keep them working to that, I suppose, to that level. If they know that they're working well, but there's areas to develop, then again, it helps the employee to target that development and target those areas of improvement. So this could be done via maybe an appraisal system, just giving the employee feedback, because then they're more likely to take that feedback on and aim to improve and aim to perform to a better standard. So if these 5 core dimensions are met, then again, it relates to a truly motivated employee. So it's somebody who's performing to the best of their ability. It's somebody who's actually satisfied within the job role. And I suppose the outcomes of that is higher productivity. But also, if they're satisfied and if they're performing, then there's less chance of a high turnover of staff and absenteeism.